Oink, oink, oink. It's Pig Nuts coming to you live from Pigpen. It's Piggy himself, and we got a Super Bowl edition of Pig Nuts. Look at that. It's been a while since we've all spoken, and I'm going to start off with the current state of the union. Current state of the union, like I said, it's been a while, and let's just say things are going so so. Emperor Trump was sworn into office 21 days ago, and it's going about as expected. He has pushed through some suspect candidates and picks for cabinet. He's also done some good things. I'm not saying it was all bad. Such as former Fox host, current alcoholic Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary, Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary, who published a book on how she executed her dog at 14 months old because it was untrainable. She didn't put the dog down. She literally shot the dog in the head. Crazy stuff there. Little Marco as Secretary of State. Linda McMahon, wife of Vince McMahon from the WWE, as Education Secretary. We'll see how long she needs a job because the Department of Education is kind of on the outs. RFK Jr. as Health and Human Services Secretary, who I'm down to make America healthier. I don't love his vaccine stuff, but we'll see. Former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. Extremist kind of wacky guy Kash Patel to lead the FBI. Nazi and husband to former people we know intimately, Katie Waldman, Stephen Miller as Deputy Chief of Policy. And South African autist Elon Musk to run Dodge, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, which we'll get into more later. And creator of Project 25, Russell Vought of Vought Industries. If you watch The Boys, that's for you. To run the Office of Management and Budget Director. Read up on CFPB when you get a chance. They're trying to get rid of that, which is not good. I don't have time. This is going to be like a 30-minute long Pig Nuts. I don't have time to go over it, but it's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and they're trying to halt that, which is not good because we're consumers and we need protection. So that's not great. We also got David Sachs to be the crypto czar, which we've never had a crypto czar, which we all thought that was going to pump our crypto bags, but it's unfortunately he just made some meme coins and rugged us, and we're still poor, which is not great, but hopefully crypto goes up eventually. Trump has also issued close to 100 executive orders in the first few weeks, whether they are legal or not. End to birthright citizenship, expanding fast-track deportations to Guantanamo Bay, and some of them are not criminals, which is not ideal. Freezing federal grants and loans, which I think got reversed. Some of these are still in the courts, and they're getting reversed or fixed. Dismantling U.S. aid, which is the government's international aid organization, which I think is now run by Marco Rubio for the time being. A bunch of transgender stuff, basically outlawing all that, and giving Dodge access to all of our personal information in the Treasury, Education, and Labor departments, such as their Social Security numbers, dates of birth, and financial transactions, which is not ideal. I think a judge just ruled, at least to put a stay on that for now, that Elon can't have all that stuff, and to whatever you do have to throw away, which I'm sure he'll do. So that's what we got so far. Oh, he also pardoned all the January 6th people, including the violent ones, and the FBI officers and prosecutors during that time fear retribution. So now it kind of makes sense on the pardoning stuff before. He also canceled all pronouns, which I am for. So thank you, President Trump, for that. He has done some good things, which we'll get into some. Other than that, like I said, I think he's doing fine. Or like the saying goes, other than that, Miss Lincoln, how was the play? Enough about that. On to our regularly scheduled program. Who's back? Who's dead? Who's not back but not dead? Starting off with who's back. We got some of our favorite topics and most reoccurring themes on Pig Nuts: anti-Semitism, racism, and school shooting. Starting off with Solomon Henderson. Solomon Henderson, a 17-year-old black student in Nashville who was accused, well, not accused, he did, kill one female student and injured another before killing himself in a school shooting. He identified as an incel, or involuntary celibate, and also as a Nazi who hated blacks and Jews. Reminder, he is black. He has been in contact with Natalie Rupno, who shot up her school in Wisconsin the month before due to anti-Semitic and racist extremist ideas. Not great. They're all like kind of talking to each other and talking about doing school shootings. Don't love that. On the topic of anti-Semitism and racism and all the other things, Elon Musk did a double Nazi salute at the inauguration. Not great. Also on the topic, we have the artist formerly known as Kanye West going on a 4-day now and counting anti-Semitic, anti-woman, incoherent rampage on X. I don't want to give him too much time of day because he's a loser and jerk, but he's been rambling about how he is a Nazi, how he loves Hitler. He started selling swastika t-shirts, yelled about his support for Diddy, and stated sometimes women deserve to be sexually assaulted and slapped around. There's hundreds of tweets, but that's basically the gist of it. I would say this probably rises to hate speech, but Elon Musk so far disagrees with me. The posts are getting like 60,000 likes each, so not ideal for us. This is all after having his wife walk down naked on the red carpet, the Emmy red carpet. They weren't invited to. She is attractive, of course. Not saying she's not, but I've seen her naked so many times at this point that it has kind of lost the allure. I'm sure his dead mother would be proud of him, and I'm sure that Kim Kardashian's happy that she has kids with him. Uh, on to better news: the Black Church. There's a Black Church in America that now owns the Proud Boys trademark. So, how about that, Proud Boys? Next up, we got plane crashes. Plane crashes. With recent budget cuts and firing at the FAA and Department of Transportation, we got a mid-air collision between an American Airlines flight out of Kansas colliding with an Army helicopter as the plane was about to land at Ronald Reagan Airport in Washington, killing all 67 people. Some of them were finger skaters from Russia and America and a bunch of other stuff. I don't think that there's conspiracy theories, but I don't think that's anything. It was conspiracy theory, though. If you watch the video, it looks like the helicopter just goes straight into the plane. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't think it would happen on purpose. I think it's because, from what they're saying, like they said, there's been a ton of budget cuts and firings. This one guy was working two different towers at the time. So I think he just kind of messed it up, like in Breaking Bad, where the guy lets it happen. Uh, I I don't know. The video makes it look weird, though. The video makes it look weird about the helicopter, but I think they were saying the helicopter couldn't see above or something. I don't know. It was landing at the time, Ronald Reagan. Supposedly, there's been a bunch of close encounters at that airport before, so whatever. Uh, we also had a very sad story: a medical transportation plane crash in Philadelphia, killing all involved, including a Make a Wish like humanitarian thing with this Mexican girl who was getting like super urgent medical care, and someone had paid for it. She was with her whole family and they're returning to Mexico, and then the plane goes down and blows up in Philadelphia. Pretty horrible stuff. We also had a plane crash in Alaska yesterday or the day before. All 10 of them died. We also had a Japan Airlines plane clip apart Delta plane in Seattle, and a United Airlines plane caught fire during takeoff in Houston. We also had some cases of people becoming stowaways in planes under the landing gear, and they ended up dying. I don't think that used to happen, but now it is. Anyways, on to tariffs. Tariffs, exciting stuff on Who's Back. We got tariffs. The U.S. announced tariffs on Canada at 25%, China at 10%, Mexico at 25%. And they are our three biggest trade partners for the U.S., with total trade worth about $2 trillion a year, 6% of the U.S. economy. Tariffs are taxes on things from other countries, if you don't know. They make buying these things more expensive. So these things that are being imported from these countries, you'd have to pay 25% more for them, which you would rather just buy American stuff, which is a good idea in concept. Countries use tariffs to help their own businesses and get other countries to change their policy. In return, these countries. So what happens is you put tariffs on them, and then you're going to put a tariff on me. I'm going to put a tariff on you. So now we got tariff wars going on, and they're tariffing us back and forth, which is not good. And it tanked the economy and it tanked the stock market. In the short term, usually tariffs are always bad for the economy. In the long term, there is like hypotheticals that it could be good. Economists don't like tariffs, and anyone who's in the economy at the current time doesn't like tariffs because it's never good. But there is a point where like you want things made in America. I get it, but it's not good so far. So Trump did what he always does because he is the art of the deal. And he decided to talk to Canada and Mexico, and he paused the tariffs because they're going to be adding. And he did that because Mexico agreed to put 10,000 of their agents at the border for immigration security and to stop fentanyl. And Canada agreed to put some like Mounties, those guys, the Mounties on the horses, and they'll watch their border there for fentanyl and immigration, I guess. China, I don't think, has done anything. China said, go ahead, we're going to tariff you. You have more of our stuff than we have your stuff. What else do we got? So yeah, and there was also people saying that Mexico and Canada were already going to do that anyway. They were already going to put those people at the border, but Trump's taking it as a win, which I would do the same, so I get it. On to lighter topics. We got Uncle O'Grimacy. Uncle O'Grimacy. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at Uncle O'Grimacy. He is Grimace's uncle. After 40 years, McDonald's are bringing back Uncle O'Grimacy, the Irish uncle of Grimace. He was created in unison with the Shamrock Shake, which we've all had and love. You may be wondering why he was shelved for 40 years. I will tell you. In 1975, he would travel from Ireland each year, bring shamrock shakes to McDonald Land. I don't know where that was. He was phased out due to an incident in Philadelphia in 1978 where the person in the Uncle Grimacy suit, who was an Irish person, made statements in support of the IRA, which was a paramilitary alt-right group with the goal of ending British rule and establishing an independent United Ireland. They're a highly violent group classified as a terrorist organization. He also came out and said British soldiers are better dead than alive. Hilarious, the idea of seeing this guy making the statements in 1975 in the costume. Anyways, they think people have forgotten. Pig has not forgotten, and Pig is here to expose you, Uncle Grimacy. But I do like you, and I'm down, and I'm not British, so what do I care? So good for Uncle Grimacy. On the dead list, we're starting out. Oh, also back. Michael Weisberg, great time at the bachelor party. Very excited for your wedding. You're on the back list. Have a day. On the dead list, Nico Harrison. Nico Harrison's dead. Very dead. If there was a very super dead list, Nico Harrison would be on it. Mavs GM getting actual death threats from fans. Traded 25-year-old superstar, top 5 in the league, Luka Doncic, who wasn't disgruntled and didn't want to leave the team. Full trade details, Mavericks traded Luka, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris to the Lakers for 31-year-old, often injured Anthony Davis, who was playing great in the game yesterday until he did get injured with a non-contact lower injury, which doesn't sound good at all. Of course he did. Max Christie and a 2029 first. They only got one first-round pick. Ridiculous trade. Even more ridiculous when you hear about the rest of this. Pelinka and Harrison are friends for years. Harrison was working at Nike with Kobe Bryant on his shoe. And Pelinka was Kobe's agent at the time. So they got to know each other for all these years. And they said, hey, why don't we just collude on this trade? And I'm sure everyone will be cool with it. Basically, that's what I think happened. There's other theories, which I'll get to. He didn't ask any other team if they wanted Luka. Everyone else is like, wait, I didn't know Luka was on the trade. We didn't know that you could trade for Luka. Pretty crazy. Even the third team in the trade who got like Rodney Schiff-Hood or whoever that guy is in 2 seconds, Danny Ainge, the GM of the Jazz, didn't know it was the Luka trade. He was just like, oh, I'm getting this guy in 2 seconds. Like, yeah, sure, I'll do the trade. Oh, yeah, who's it for? Oh, Luka. What? Crazy. So clearly collusion would be vetoed in the league. I would veto this trade 100%. There was an alternative conspiracy theory, which I'm going to read to you. And this is from a lawyer in Texas. So the premise is that the Mavericks trading a 25-year-old Luka, one of the top 3 players in the world, to the Lakers in return for broken down 32-year-old Anthony Davis makes no sense as a basketball move. Virtually no one disputes this, so there must be a non-basketball explanation for what's going on here. The Mavericks' new ownership group, by the way, this trade's also bad for the Jews. The new owners, Mark Cuban doesn't own the Mavs anymore. He sold it to the Adelsons, big Jewish casino family from Vegas. And people are not happy with the Jews about the Luka trade online. Don't go to Twitter and type in the Mavs and Jews. Not good. The Mavs' new ownership group, the Adelsons, and the Dumont ownership group, has no real interest in basketball because, like I said, they're a casino family in Vegas. And they have said as much. To the Adelsons, the Mavs are just a means to an end, which is opening up the largest untapped gambling market in the country in Texas. A destination resort casino in Austin with the new Mavs arena in it is their frequently stated goal. The Adelson-Dumont push to change Texas law to allow the Maverick-centered destination casino resort is going badly in Austin. Again, despite hiring virtually every lobbyist in Austin, their company, Sands Casino, is not getting a bill through the Texas legislature this session. So another loss for gambling in Texas, because gambling is not legal in Texas, sports gambling, and it will, or regular gambling, and it will be 2 years before the next legislative session. So the Adelsons need more leverage to get a gambling bill through the legislature, but they already donate more money to Texas politicians than literally anyone else, and they employ dozens of good lobbyists. So what can they do? They threaten to move the Mavs to Vegas unless they get what they want. The problem with that is, a few days ago, the threat to move the Mavs to Vegas was laughable because the Mavs had just made a finals trip. Everyone loves the Mavs. The Dallas is very happy. All the fans are happy. They have a 25-year-old generational superstar. They have Klay Thompson. They're the 4th largest media market in the U.S. Teams riding high don't move, and they're not allowed to move. So if their goal is to open a destination casino centered on a new arena, the Adelsons are better off with the Mavs being bad, unpopular, and unprofitable. This would make viable their threat to move to Vegas unless the Texas legislature legalizes their Venetian Dallas casino arena plans. So the NBA would not allow a healthy franchise to abandon the 4th largest media market, but if local support for the Mavs dried up, the aging American Airlines arena would be full of empty seats. The political will to build a new arena has collapsed, and the promise of a golden new market in Vegas beckons. Ask Seattle Supersonics fans how that worked out for them. The NBA would probably not block the Mavs moving to Vegas. So, by giving away Luka in return for Anthony Day-to-Day Davis, and maybe more now that he's re-injured, the Mavericks went from being a top-tier NBA team for many years to come to who knows what, probably garbage. The combination of AD, Clay, and Kai is a 2018 NBA All-Star team, but it's unfortunately not in 2025. Kyrie Irving. The reality is that the Mavs will be bad soon, and they don't have the draft capital to change their trajectory. But even worse for the Mavs franchise is that day one fans feel like they're betrayed and heartsick. They don't want to support the team anymore. They've lost 700,000 followers on Instagram since the trade. They're refunding season tickets because people are so upset. So the Adelsons didn't trade Luka to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. They traded Luka for a gun to hold to the head of the Texas legislature. Authorize our Maverick-centered casino, or we're off to Vegas, and the NBA won't say no. So the Adelsons will get their Maverick-centered casino one way or another. Plan A is, of course, in Dallas, but Plan B, they move to Vegas, and they have their casino there with the Mavs. This also benefits the NBA by making the Lakers still viable. LeBron is getting older, of course, and the Lakers... NBA is down in general. I'm not watching NBA games, at least at this point in the season. NBA viewership's down, of course, which is crazy because all other leagues are up. And they need the Lakers to be viable because they're one of the better teams. So they get Luka, which, of course, doesn't get vetoed. You know, David Stern would have vetoed the shit out of this trade. But he vetoed the Chris Paul trade, so he definitely would have vetoed this. But Adam Silver's super soft. Nico admitting that he only talked to him. There's just a lot of stuff to hate about this trade. I'm not going to keep going into it, but clearly collusion one way or the other. Moving on to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's dead, to me at least, and most of Miami, and most of all of you, and most of everyone. He went from saying he would go anywhere after being disgruntled and horrible to us. I'll go anywhere, then a few teams, and then he said, no, I don't want to go here. Oh, I don't want to go there. No, I only want to go to the Suns now. A disaster class from his agent, and Jimmy, due to these antics, will never have his jersey retired by the Miami Heat. They already gave his jersey, number 22, to Wiggins, which is hilarious. So the stories about hilarious, two stories. One of them, weird story from the Butler camp being pushed, that Pat Riley, after Butler's father died, he tried to support him and talk about his father dying and how he went through it, and he cried during the meeting. Pat Riley did, and he's called that unhinged, and he didn't want to be there anymore because Pat Riley cried. Weird. It doesn't make you sound better, Butler. That makes you sound weird that you're calling him unhinged about that. Hilarious story, though, from Mickey Arison about how they suspended him, and then Butler met with Riley, and they said they were going to unsuspend him, but then Arison said, no, you can't unsuspend him until I'm back from vacation. And they said, well, when are you getting back? He's like, I'm getting back in 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, Butler's like, okay, well, let's meet and talk about it. He's like, okay, you can pay to fly to me to talk to me. Butler didn't like that they weren't going to pay for his flight to go see him. Weird stuff happening. Of course, I blame only Butler. I ride for the Miami Heat, just like Udonis said, don't ever go against the family. I think the Heat got better somewhat. I mean, is it the best trade we could have gotten for Butler last year? No, we would have gotten more, but considering what we were in, I like it. I like Wiggins. I think he's younger. He's going to be great defensively. I like Davion Mitchell and Kyle Anderson. We should have got rid of. We needed to, but whatever. That's fine. Feel bad for PJ Tucker, who posted the Undertaker meme that he's back, and then he got immediately traded. We're going to have unreal defense, young core. I like the Heat. Fuck Jimmy Butler forever, though. Next up on Who's Dead, we got Montoya. Montoya. This is a viral clip, which I'm sure you've all seen by now. Montoya, por favor. And it's Temptation Island. We have Temptation Island. Spanish people also have Temptation Island. And it's a Spanish version of Temptation Island, which seems way better than the American version. And they have him watching the screen, and it's his girlfriend at the time who starts kissing this guy. And he's like, no. And then, like, they turn off the lights and they start taking off their clothes. And he's like, no. And he's, like, on the ground begging and pleading. And you can see that they're, like, about to start having sex. And Montoya's not happy about this, of course, because why would you be? And the host is like, Montoya, like, siéntate, like, no, like, just, like, take it easy. Take it easy, Montoya. And Montoya, of course, is not happy. Montoya rips off his shirt, and they start having sex. And Montoya's running. And the camera work's incredible. And he's running, he's trying to get back to her, and they start having sex harder and harder and harder, and he's running, and the host is screaming, Montoya, por favor, please, come back, and it's chaos, and it's unbelievable TV. Allegedly, she says that she had sex with this guy because he cheated on her the week before by getting a lap dance. Crazy retribution. Definitely not eye for an eye. We all stand with Montoya. Montoya forever. This lady, what a skank she is, right? Lastly, on Who's Dead, oh no, not lastly, we got two more. This is going, it's already at 20 minutes. You guys better watch it. Democrats are dead. 100-year-old Maxine Waters and Chuck Schumer held a press conference holding hands and chanting, "We will win, we will win," with a guy with a cane doing like a little jig behind them. Horrible. That's not the message we want. We're definitely you sure about that we're going to win? I'm not. That's not what the Democrats need. The Democrats still have no leadership. They're dead. Lastly, we got Blake Lively. I can go on about Blake Lively and this Justin Baldoni case for 30 minutes. I don't have that time. Do your own research, but basically she's in an intense battle with Justin Baldoni, her co-star and director of It Ends With Us. She files suit against him for sexual harassment, runs a big smear campaign with the New York Times. He countersues her and releases a ton of texts and videos that show metadata and show like time-stamped that these are all before that and they're all proven true and she's lying and the New York Times didn't fact check their piece. And now he's suing the New York Times and Blake Lively in retaliation. And basically Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively look horrible. Ryan Reynolds getting tons of ricochet shots just because Blake Lively looks so bad. So now she's like dodging getting deposed. She was all big and strong and you guys got to support me and he sexually abused me and harassed me. And then he releases like 7 minutes of video with them and all these audios and texts between each other. Shows that she's kind of like into Baldoni, which is weird. And Ryan Reynolds doesn't know how to feel about this. But she's like doesn't want to be deposed now because she realizes she got caught with her zipper down. She also very weird. Taylor Swift was on her team, and now Taylor Swift dead to Taylor Swift, which is not good when you don't have Taylor Swift anymore, because she called Taylor Swift her dragon, and that she was Daenerys Targaryen. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but I know you dorks are into it. And so Taylor didn't like being called a dragon. So Taylor's you're dead to me, and she doesn't like how this lawsuit's going, so she cancels her. And Ryan Reynolds, like I said, he's getting killed too. I like Ryan Reynolds, but not a good look for him. Not back, but not dead. Everyone in crypto. Trump was supposed to pump our bags, but instead dropped meme coins on our heads and rugged us, like I said, with Trump coin and Melania coin especially. Horrendous. Barron's also been dropping coins on his own, which is funny. He's a weird guy. Vivek's full MAGA now because he thinks that crypto is going to pump, and he thinks that Trump's his guy. Trump definitely not your guy. Bitcoin's still fine as of now. And some other coins are good. But do I think crypto eventually does fine? Yes. As of now, we're not rich. We're still poor. Not great. We thought that was going to happen. Last on Not Back But Not Dead, we got Punswani Phil. I think that's how you say it. Groundhog Day was Sunday, February 2nd. And Punswani Phil, that asshole, predicted 6 more weeks of winter. He saw his shadow. The good news is that Punswani Phil is basically as good as predicting the weather as I am as gambling. I'm sweating. I got the sun. I'm sweating in this pig suit. He saw his shadow. He predicted 6 weeks of winter. The good news is, like I said, he's horrible at predicting it. Only right 35% of the time since 2005. So that means it's probably good for us. Always fade Puntuxy Phil. He was going to be on the dead list, but I got to keep him on the not back but not dead list because he did just welcome baby number 2 with his wife Phyllis. So good for you, Phil. Have a day. I don't care that you predicted 6 more weeks of winter. You are cute, and I'm happy that you have a baby. Conspiracy of the week. Obama and Jennifer Aniston are dating. What? This all comes because of Michelle Obama not being at the inauguration. She wasn't at Jimmy Carter's funeral. We haven't heard from her in a while. There are some people saying she's a man altogether. Not me. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've heard that. And they're saying she's not around because they're getting divorced and Obama's dating Jennifer Aniston. Now, look at this picture. Oh, what is that? Obama and Jennifer Aniston looking very lovey-dovey. Now, I've heard it's AI. Who's to say if it's AI? I don't know. They're also saying there's messages of their relationship rumors that have leaked. That's not true. Megyn Kelly is running with the story because, of course, she is. Pretty funny. Do I think that's true? Probably not. Is it a fun rumor? Yeah. Show of the week. Severance. Incredible. Gotta watch it. Gotta buy Apple. I know there's 100 streaming services. You have to buy Apple at this point. It's really, really, really good. Season 1 was amazing. Season 2, good too. They have a couple other shows too. If you buy Apple, you cancel it after the season, watch some other shows. They got some good stuff. They just don't promote well. Kendrick Lamar halftime show tonight. Not my guy. Drake, my guy. He killed Drake, so he's not my guy. No, not the enemy. My enemy is my friend. He's not my friend. He's my enemy. I hope it goes horribly. I hope the worst for him. But I would like. They said he has a big surprise. It would be nice if he brought out Drake and they squashed it. They're not going to. I'm sure it's gonna be like Taylor Swift and they're gonna play their bad blood song. Probably. So whatever. Kendrick Lamar, good for you, I guess. Bets. Eagles money line. I'm going with the Eagles. I know that I'm tired of the Chiefs. I'm done with the Chiefs. I don't like Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts seems like a nice guy. Saquon's a good story. What else do I like? What else do I like? Saquon over 80 yards. Travis Kelce over 50 yards receiving. I think he has a good game. I know he's like toast and old and washed up, but I think Super Bowl he plays well. This might be his last game. 50 yards receiving. Devontae Smith over 4 receptions. $50 wins you 144. Devontae Smith to record 25 receiving yards each half, plus 300. I like that. I like the Gatorade color to be white. I like heads. I like the over in the national anthem. That's all I got. Have a day.